Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Chang Pod. Thank you so much for joining us. Everything we make and everything we do is all comes from you and for you. So let's get straight into the show.
It's Jacob and AJ's Denhoff.
All right. Hey bud, how you doing?
I'm good. I got a good night of sleep last night, which helped because definitely end of the day yesterday, I was like past E.
Mm-hmm.
You know how far E is to F?
Yeah.
I was like that distance below E.
Dang.
I was going into debt. I was going into
G.
energy debt. But yeah, it was like I was asked that question throughout the night of like, oh, like how you feeling? How's it been? And I felt like exhausted, but definitely energy well spent. So what did we do Saturday?
Man, what didn't we do on Saturday?
What didn't we do on Saturday?
We went to the show, music festival called Big CAAF out in Gainesville. Gainesville, not Gamesville.
Gamesville.
Gainesville.
Oh wait, let me turn. I'm gonna turn out 45 towards the. I'm gonna go halfway between you and the camera.
So we went out to this music festival called Big CAAF. It's this annual music festival held out in Gainesville, home of the Florida Gators, which by far have the worst colorway of any university I've ever seen. That blue and orange, it's like this orange and like the most obnoxious blue you've ever seen. And yeah.
I thought it was beautiful. I hope they keep doing it every year and it gets a little better and a little bigger and a little cooler and a little. Literally, I hope it's like not. I hope climate change doesn't keep it from happening. But it was great though. It seemed like a very like for artists by artists, for creators by like it was definitely not marketed to a mass audience. Like I feel like most people that went were some type of, whether it's music or visual, some type of like artist or creator or just someone interested in like making cool stuff.
Yeah, it was really crazy to see just how deep everyone was rolling with Layla. Like, there was not a single person that I met that night that wasn't there either because they knew Layla, were friends with Layla, were friends with someone that knew Layla. Shout out to Layla. She was one of the organizers for the whole thing. Beautiful place, beautiful show, beautiful festival. And I'm pretty sure we saw her, and the whole time, just big ass smile on her face, like such a wholesome looking gal. Anyway, you threw an amazing thing, and shout out to all the other organizers and everyone else involved. But
yeah, shout out. I know that the two like former organizations that put it on are Dion Dia, which I guess is like a record label, and the How Bazaar, which is some kind of store event place in Gainesville. I don't know a lot about Gainesville, but it was cool to check it out and see some of the stuff they got going on over there.
Yeah. And yeah, so we got there pretty early. I came to pick up AJ, and then we rolled over there together, and we got there probably around like 9 a.m. trying to go see this.
Did we get there at 9 a.m.?
I think so, yeah. Yeah, so we went, we showed up. There was a nice little car meet that was happening prior to the beginning of the music festival, and that was really cool. We saw a bunch of cars and got to test out our new Rode microphones. So we got some lav mics. Pretty cool stuff.
Yeah. We had some trial and error.
For sure, we had some trial and error. The Rode mic travesty is something that we will get into in a little bit. But yeah, the whole thing was really cool. Lots of cool cars, lots of cool people. We met this one guy with a fold-out table that was also a scooter.
Yeah, shout out. I think his name was Sean. I don't remember. I think his name was Sean with the Honda Moto Compacto.
Yeah.
Cool scooter.
If you don't know what a Honda Moto Compacto is, I'll show a picture of it right here. It literally looks like a fold-out table. But he was super cool. We were asking him a couple questions about it. I've never seen it before. Never even heard about it before. But I guess, AJ, you had seen it on like an MKBHD video?
Yeah, I'd seen the MKBHD video. And it's cool. It's a cool, like, there's definitely drawbacks. And if you want a really good scooter, there's better, like, pure scooters. But just as a conceptual, just as a concept, it's a cool premise.
Yeah. And yeah, so that was pretty much the beginning of the day. And then our friend Nathan, shout out to Nathan. You know everyone.
You know Nathan.
You know Nathan. He was on the podcast, did the jingle. You know that Nathan. he met us there. He had a little bagel at this place called Luke's Bagel Shop, which looked amazing. Luke's New York Bagel, probably in downtown Gainesville. Um, and yeah, that was pretty much where the beginning of the day really started, was at Luke's. So we met some cool people chilling outside. I guess they were just eating there.
Yeah, just chilling out by Luke's. It was already, artists that are performing later in the day, photographers that are shooting the festival. I guess especially the people that are there already at noon, 1 p.m. are, people there because they got a sound check and set up and all that. But, yeah, talked to some artists, talked to Luca Kaluka.
Luca, his name is Luca, but goes by Kaluka on Instagram. He was an artist. He doesn't have anything out at the current moment, but we talked to him a little bit, and actually that was the first interview that we did of the day, which was actually really, really fun. I was a little bit nervous to do an interview, but I think it turned out really well. Kaluka was super well-spoken, very eloquent, super cool guy, and it was actually his first interview too, so that was actually kind of cool to be a part of. And yeah.
Yeah, it's cool to get. So that was one successful use of the Rode mics, the Rode Wireless Go. It's a cool kit. Like definitely a lot of YouTubers and stuff use it. There were many failed attempts to use the Rode mics, but that was one successful one.
Yeah, that was definitely.
We
one
had everything
successful
configured right. I think the audio is solid, and yeah, it's cool to get a piece of gear and just kind of think about what you can do with it, and then just actually go and do it.
Yeah, for sure.
And then we were I think we were doing okay. Like we would do interviews and people would be like, "Oh, so is this what y'all do?" Like I was like, I got this like a couple days ago. I don't know. I guess now we do this sometimes. But.
Yeah. So that was super cool. Shout out to Kaluka. He has a song coming out in June called Money, Power, Love, Sex. And that's all I know about it. That's all the deets that he gave of.
You gotta have him on the pod in June.
Yeah. When he's doing his
Hey Siri, remind me to
when he's doing his album single promotion tour, whatever, we'll try to tap back in with Kaluka. So shout out with you.
drink some water, keep talking.
That was just the beginning of the festival day. And just some other notable things that happened throughout the festival that weren't actually in the festival, but just around the festival. We went deeper into downtown Gainesville, and we found a Wawa that didn't have a gas station attached to it. It was just the store, like just the inside version. And I thought that was super weird. I'd never seen one before. I've seen versions of it, like obviously like a 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
Like that. Like I've seen that before, minus gas station, but never a Wawa. I thought that was very interesting.
Wawa from the creators of Yankee No Brim, Wawa No Gas.
Boom.
So then what happened from there? We were kind of just walking around, hanging out for a bit. They had something called the Art House, which was what used to be just an abandoned house that I guess they cleaned out and redid some stuff. And the whole house was just for art displays. So there was paintings, there was some handmade rugs, there was a marionette, there was photography. They had some tattoo artists in there set up doing a pop-up shop. People were getting tatted. They were doing hand painting. They did like a hand painting community display thing. And we were kind of just hanging out. I think at that time we were just... It was still early in the day. A lot of the music didn't start till later.
Yeah, so a lot of the beginning of it was just kind of walking around, getting our bearings, meeting cool people that just happened to be around and talking to. But the night didn't really start until about like 6 p.m.
I think we paced ourselves too, because we knew the music went till like 2, 3 a.m. So it's like, all right, if we go to the stage now and start, we're gonna burn out. And we already, even though we waited, we still, I think, around like, but yeah. So it really picked up. Who was the first person we like really went to the stage and?
I think the first person that we really went to go see was Casey Jones.
Yeah, true.
Mm-hmm.
Casey Jones the second.
Casey Jones the second. Shout out to Casey Jones the second. Very great set. That was the first person that we really went to go see and like hang out and watch the whole show. And honestly, I was very impressed. Like after the show, looking them up, and realizing that they were not as popular as I thought that they should be. Seeing their set was even more impressive because they had like skits and they had like a whole story that was going on about it was like an office, and he was like the manager of the office, and they were like having meetings like in between songs, and everyone was dressed up in like formal work attire.
Uh-huh.
I thought the whole performance was really, really well done, and I was very impressed and very shocked to see that they weren't as popular as I believe that they should be.
Yeah, and then but everything, not even just the like the theatrical aspect of it was cool, but like the vocal delivery, the stage presence, the band was so locked. Like, you would think they just got off a tour, like the way they were playing.
Absolutely.
And then talking to Casey Jones a little bit after, they're like, "Oh yeah, we're just trying to do some stuff around Gainesville." She's like, "Oh wow, like I don't know, music's crazy like that. How the sometimes there's like no correlation between how good an artist sounds and where in their career they are.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because you got people that sound amazing that are just starting or like just doing like local stuff, and then you got like globally touring acts that you go to the show and you're like, that's what they're touring on.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's just so many other factors.
And it was a really cool experience that, like, after you saw someone perform and was like, wow, that was a great performance, you could just walk over to the side of the stage and be like, hey, dap them up, give them a little fist bump and be like, yo, that was a great performance. And sometimes, they would be like, oh, of course, everyone was super nice and they were like, thank you very much, whatever. And sometimes that would be the end of the conversation. But sometimes you would just get off, start talking to an artist, and you would be chopping it up with them for like 10, 15 minutes, just like on some cool shit, just talking and experiencing the whole thing together. And then just seeing them just like dip off into the rest of the festival to like go grab food was just like so cool to see that there was like a separation between, like, there was like a VIP area and the artist area, of course, that was like separated from the plebs like us. But like, just to see the artists and the people that were there for the event to like vend or like perform, just like walking around, just like being a normal person.
Yeah, I think it was great in that because a lot of bigger festivals, for obvious reasons, need to have a hard barrier between the talent and the people there to watch. But especially at smaller stuff and even medium-sized stuff, I think it's very possible to have a setup where the artists are able to really participate and walk around and like not have a hard fence between the talent and the viewer, but like kind of blend it. And I think one thing that was great about the way Big CAAF was laid out was there was so much programming going on at all times. Because there was the main stage, there was another stage, there was people playing basketball, there was a skate ramp, there was a fashion fitting, there was like a half-built house, boiler room style.
Mm-hmm.
So like, it's kind of easy to just blend in and walk around. Yeah, I think even if you're a bigger artist, you can kind of just walk around, and people are busy enough and distracted enough that it's not like you're gonna like accumulate a crowd of people and feel like, yeah.
And it was also really cool to see. I haven't been to many festivals and many live music events like this, but like, for the most part, it was like the most respectful, like, chill experience ever. Like, no trash on the ground. Everyone was recycling their cans. Everyone was, being really like respectful, nice, keeping out of people's way, and just like doing what they do. And also, interesting that me and AJ were kind of talking about this before we started recording, that seeing other people's perspectives, like through their story, and how they had a completely different experience to the one that we had, even though we were at the same place, is super cool.
Yeah, I saw, and I ended up finding Layla's account yesterday and following Layla, and Layla posted something about like, yo, it's crazy going on the Big CAAF account and seeing all of the like mentions and tags, because she was like, I didn't even know this happened, like. But that must be a really cool experience to be on the actual Big CAAF account and like see every single Instagram story people posted. Like, that must be a wild experience.
Yeah.
Because all the little rooms and nooks and crannies and corners that,
Absolutely. I think it really reminds me of something that we did at Big CAAF, where when we were doing, at one point in the night, we started going around with our little microphone and asking people to do like little 30-second interviews with them. And a question that AJ came up with that we asked a few people was like, what is the biggest thing that you can think of?
Yeah, and then I started saying, what is the biggest thing you can conceive of?
Mm-hmm.
Like but just kind of an abstract, like.
Yeah, what is the biggest thing that you can conceive of? What is the biggest thing that you can think of? And we asked this one, you asked this one person, Carlos, I believe.
Yeah.
We,
I remember Blue and I remember Carlos's answer. I don't remember anybody else's.
I think those are the only two people that we
okay.
asked that particular question to.
Yeah, what did Blue? Wait, now do I remember what did Blue say?
Blue said dreams.
Your dreams. Yeah.
Your dreams was the biggest thing that you can conceive of, and Carlos said reality. And then he started going into like talking about
Yeah,
it,
he
kind
said
of like mind fucking it about.
Well, reality in that like you're here in this festival and you look around and there's all these people, but like each of these people has their own whole like story and life and experience.
Yeah.
Outside of,
Yeah, and when you start thinking about it like that, it's like, wow, there's like literally an infinite amount of experiences and versions of reality happening, even just in this small event, not even considering all the other people around the world. Anyway, I thought that was a really cool question. Really cool people giving
cool.
really cool answers.
On the topic too, this is kind of interesting. On the topic of like weird, mind-blowing stuff, like there's this interesting effect of when you gather a ton of people into a place and you look at like the network of possible connections. If you have two people, there's one possible conversation that can happen. It's the one between those two people.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you have three people, there's three.
Mm-hmm.
But then once you get to like 4, 5, 6, now it like really starts to blow up.
Yeah.
But like the amount of possible one-on-one conversations that can happen with like a group of 1,000 people is like, I'm pretty sure more than there are stars in the universe.
Yeah. Yes.
It's like
more than grains of sand on the earth.
I'm not even talking about topic of conversation. I'm literally talking about if you have 1,000 people and you pick one person at random and another person at random, like just the amount of combinations of two people you can pick.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's kind of crazy that you can just like walk around and just walk up to a person and say like, hey, what's up? How's your experience been?
Yeah. And that's like, yeah, I thought that was really cool. And saying it in that way really makes me think about the experience that we had and the people that we talked to and how now we're talking about them and they're part of our story. I would like to believe that too. They're walking around and maybe not necessarily talking about us or thinking about us, but we entered their story as well. And
you don't think somebody's talking about us on their podcast right now?
Maybe.
Maybe.
I hope so. If you are, thank you. I really appreciate it.
But yeah, always cool to. I just love meeting new people, hearing new. Like that whole concept of everybody has their own reality, like just seeing what somebody else's life has been like.
Mm-hmm.
And too, it was a cool mix of it was people from all over and people that do all different things from different places. But it was pretty Florida centric, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of people from Miami, a lot of people from Orlando. Yeah, it was really cool, like seeing people from different corners of Florida and how our experiences like kind of are the same and kind of are not. And honestly, like what was so wholesome about it is just like how much Floridians have like this passion for being Floridian, like being from Florida. Like we're all here, we're all trying to like build something great and something cool and something creative with the people around us. And being able to talk to these people from the different corners of Florida really made me feel like Florida kind of shrunk a little bit, but in a good way.
Oh yeah. And already too, like especially the last few months, I've been going to a lot of shows and getting to talk to bands and artists that come from wherever, Miami or Orlando, and especially the artists that are in a position where they can tour and like go to other cities, meet other venues, meet other bands. Like it ends up feeling pretty small.
Mm-hmm.
Like because now I can like talk to like, especially I think the more embedded I get into the scene and like talk to people, like talk to any given musician in Miami and it's like, oh yeah, so and so, yeah, so and so, or everybody kind of.
Yeah, everyone kind of like knows each other or knows of each other.
Yeah. And I hope we can like lay down those rails and like lay down those roads as artists and community builders where like that can continue to grow and it can, artists can feel like they can like go to like Tampa, Orlando, Gainesville, Miami, wherever,
and be welcomed with open arms.
Yeah, and like there's enough like common ground and connection and like mutual friends and mutual respect that we can all kind of build, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like super cool talking to people and now having thoughts of like, oh, if I ever went to Miami, I have people to hit up and be like, yo,
Yo,
what you
doing?
Yeah, what are you doing tonight? I'm going to be in Miami. Are you free? Like, let's hang out. Let's do something.
Let's go to the beach.
Which is something that I didn't necessarily feel like I had
No.
even just 3 days ago before this music festival happened.
Yeah, and then being able to offer the same. Like I love going to a festival, especially something like this where it's kind of Florida focused, and be able to like really, you know, be able to kind of share what's going on in Tampa right now, because it's definitely like a young, small, blooming scene. But like I'm excited about it. There's talent. There's will. There's like people that really value community, that really value building something. And I'm excited to be able to share that and like have artists from out of town, like telling people from Gainesville, people from Miami, like, yeah, come by, we'll book something, we'll get it going. And then especially like having the skills and the production to kind of like think about like content leading up to it where you can like really showcase their stuff and like build, you know.
Yeah. It's cool the possibilities of like building this community and building a web of people who know, like, and trust each other.
Yeah, yeah, that's a web of people who know, like, and trust each other is a beautiful thing. All in one day in Gainesville, Florida. We pull up, we see Casey Jones II, Mr. Floyd Larry, the Nick Hakeem.
Oh, amazing set.
Okay? We're talking Madison McFerrin.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Beautiful set. So funny. Love her.
We're talking They Hate Change.
Awesome set.
Not gonna lie, I didn't see much of their set, but they're coming here. They're coming to St. Pete on Saturday.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be a great set.
Mhm.
Shout out They Hate Change. Shout out Bananas Records. Chuck I also didn't see much of Chuck Strangers, but I heard it was great.
Yeah.
Wahid, love Wahid. That Wahid Kalen Ellis song, love that song.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they have more songs. I only know one. We're talking Kalen Ellis.
Oh,
We're talking Kalen freaking Ellis.
Kalen Ellis. I had never seen a Kalen Ellis live performance before, but I'm hooked. I'm a major fan now.
Yeah.
Like, such a great set. Definitely one of my peaks from the night.
Yeah. We're talking about a magician in the Ableton live set, as well as, I'm trying to think of another word, but the drumming too.
Oh, yeah. Super talented. Doing the whole DJ set, hopping onto the drums, and absolutely ripping. Great.
Yeah. We're talking about the chef, the sous chef, the line cook, everybody all in one. Complete. Rock Chamberlain.
Mm-hmm.
Missed a little bit of Rock Chamberlain chatting with Kalen Ellis, but got to see a good amount and fire.
Yeah, fire.
Like the presence, just the fit, just the energy, like just the, I don't know, being able to come into a song with like confidence and just really deliver. Yeah, just performances. The ability for these artists to really connect with the audience too, I felt like was something I really appreciated.
Yeah, absolutely.
It definitely felt like I think a lot of bigger shows, bigger festivals, artists will have a very clear separation of like you're just a sea of, you're just
People.
like one collective group of people that I'm gonna you know. But I feel like so many of the artists making individual interactions with people or like responding to things that the crowd was saying, or it felt like there's a real connection there. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a great time. Shout out to every single performer, and especially shout out to the people that we watched in particular. Love you guys all. Great set. Definitely made the whole experience like that much better. And yeah, I mean, I had a great time. Definitely one of my first times going to something like this.
Mm-hmm.
And for me personally, I really enjoyed it because the last time we did go to like a small live music event was the Block Party. And I know I
The
told
last time you did.
what?
Oh, I guess the last time we both did.
Yeah, we were both.
Yeah,
you were,
no, you're
we
right.
were both there.
No, you're right. You're right.
So the last time that we went to like a small live music event together was the Block Party. And me personally, I wasn't very happy with that experience, but not because of the experience itself. It was great, but just personally my own stuff. I went hypothetically super high, And I felt super awkward and super shy and wasn't very willing to like go out and talk to people and meet people. And this time it was a complete 180, and I felt so comfortable just like walking up to people, strangers, walking up to artists, talking to them, chopping it up, asking people questions, going up to random people, asking them, "Hey, do you want to get interviewed?" And for me, it was like a turning point in like my own personal life, feeling like my wings are spreading a little bit. That it's like I'm not this person that I thought I was, and indeed, I actually can like talk to people, and I'm not shy, and I'm not that awkward. And yeah, it was super cool. It was super cool to experience that. And I think a cool part about it too was something that we talked about post show, just kind of on like our Taco Bell run, like at the end of the night, you're having conversation.
At 2 a.m. Taco Bell.
Yeah, that 2
Convo-
a.m.
The 2 a.m. Taco Bell convo. It's
Exactly.
deeper than anything else you can.
Exactly. Talking about like how new friends versus old friends perceive you in different ways, like how people you've known for a long time like have these preconceived notions of who you are and how you act, and how meeting new faces and new people and seeing how they perceive you can really just like shatter any expectations that you have like of yourself.
Yeah. I think just meeting somebody that sees you differently than you see yourself, it kind of gives you that. It makes you question like, oh, I could be like the last month. Anytime I go to a concert, I have a camera on me, and then like I'm talking to people, and people see me as a photographer, and I don't. That's like a new aspect of identity that I don't really. But like that's cool. Or meeting somebody that you never met, and then we're doing interviews, and them thinking that like that's what we do. We're like journalists.
Yeah.
And that's like, oh, like I didn't think about that, but maybe we could be.
Yeah.
Maybe we could,
Yeah, and then when someone like sees you that way, and you think of it to yourself, it's like, I guess we are, even though this is the first time we're ever doing this.
Yeah. Yeah, well, like, Blue was saying the biggest thing is your dream.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's so many things outside of your dream is only in your head, Like seeing how other people perceive you, what other people believe you can do. Because you have your own, let me speak on myself. Like, I have my own personal aspirations and things I want to do and things I believe I can do or may be able to do. But then being able to hear somebody else say something that they think I'm capable of, and me realize, oh, maybe I'm also capable of that, and just expanding that that dream and that hope and that,
Yeah.
And then being able to do that for others, like
Mm-hmm.
being able to tell somebody like, yo, your set sounds really good, like you should be I don't know, should's a weird word, but just being able to, yeah, like
you should be pursuing that.
Yeah, like keep doing what, basically saying like keep doing what you're doing. Yeah. Yeah.
So overall, great night, great festival. I can't wait to return next year. Shout out again to all the performers, all the musicians, all of the people including the security guards and the food truck people and the people running the art house and every single person involved. Shout out to Layla, the organizer.
The volunteers scanning scanning QR codes for hours. They made it possible. Like you said, the security. Shout out Dion Dia. Shout out How Bizarre. Shout out Gainesville, I guess. Never thought I'd say that.
Yeah.
Of all places,
Yeah.
Gainesville, Florida.
Gainesville, Florida.
Who
Shout out
knew?
Nathan. Thank you for coming with
Yeah,
us. It was a
yeah.
pleasure. Shout out to all the people that we met. I'm going to miss a few people, but that's okay. James.
Yeah.
Jamin.
Yeah.
Blue. Carlos. Kaylin Ellis.
Yeah, all the artists.
Chris Jacobs.
Oh, yeah. Shout out CJ.
All those people. And everyone else that we met. It was an absolute pleasure. Thank you for making the night so great for me personally, and I'm just going to leave it right there.
Until next year.
Until next year.
That was the Changhoff pod. We went to the Big Culture and Arts Festival in Gainesville, Florida. It was pretty cool. We're going to keep rolling, do a little bonus episode. That will be available on patreon.com/Changhoff. That's patreon.com/CHANGHOFF. You can also go just type in Changhoff Patreon and it'll come up. And that's all we got today. More episodes coming, more guest episodes. more no guest episodes, more related content. Check out Citrus Sound and other things coming soon.
Yes.
But yeah, follow us on something, whatever you like to use, whatever doesn't break your brain.
Thank you guys so much for being here and supporting us. Everything that we do and everything that we make from this show and all the other stuff that we do comes directly from your support, and I couldn't be more happy about that. I love what I do, and I'm glad that I'm able to say that now, and it's all because of you guys. Anyway, thank you. That's it. Let's go.